Right now on set, Trump 2020 Advisory Board member and former Republican Congresswoman Nan Hayworth and former NYPD detective Harry Hoek. Good to see you both. Harry, I'll start with you because I'm curious to see, given that you were in law enforcement, how you feel about a guy like Bill de Blasio or any mayor out there in any city across America that allows or permits or somehow looks the other way when police are treated so disrespectfully.
Well, Trish, let me tell you, the reality of it is here is that that liberals have a war against police and law and order in this country. Every time you turn around, they're trying to find different ways to keep bad guys from going to jail. Like in New York City, for instance, now they want to get away with they want people to get away with jumping the turnstiles. Just give them a summons instead of making an arrest. This is a very important tool to take guns off the street. And this is something they want to do. You got a man like de Blasio who doesn't stick around this city at all. He believes that he's the God's gift to the progressives, so he's got to show his face everywhere else but in New York City. And we've had a very, very bad relationship with this man who demagogues the police. And every time the police do something and he feels that it's in a minority neighborhood, that he uses it as some kind of a pawn for his political gain.
Back when I lived in New York City, I lived way downtown, and there were a lot of police that were stationed down there, in part because, you had, what was formerly the World Trade Center there. And so it was a security concern of sorts. There were a lot of police there. And I'll tell you, you just talk to them, and anecdotally, they really didn't like them. They really didn't like them. And you know what? I get it. Because basically now your boss is someone who doesn't like you. And you're out there with your life on the line, man. I mean, running all kinds of risks.
Yes.
And you've got someone who doesn't care.
Look at
and
the
doesn't
Garner
support
case.
it. Oh, yeah. No, look, I hear you. And Nan, I wasn't kidding about the pot on the streets. I mean, my children, they were like, they came with me to work the other day. Right. We have since left New York City. And they were like, Mommy, that smells like a skunk. Well, and I said, yeah, it sure does, doesn't it? And they said, but wait a second, we're in the city. There aren't any skunks in New York City. Let's change the subject.
There are plenty. And I would start with the big 6'5" one, Mayor de Blasio. He is...
You smell it everywhere now.
Well, exactly. It's disgusting. I mean, it really...
Everywhere.
I don't care what people do in their personal life, but why do I have to smell it on the street? Thank you, Bill de Blasio.
Well, it is unpleasant. And the problem is that Mayor de Blasio is spending down the patrimony that he was provided by the superb leadership of Mayors Giuliani and Bloomberg, who helped bring this city back. And
law and order.
Exactly. Right. And Mayor Giuliani was exactly right. When he became mayor, he went after those quality of life crimes that truly do matter. If you don't pay attention to the small things, the bigger things will become overwhelming.
Exactly.
Like the marijuana.
Broken windows.
Right. Broken windows, precisely. So we have this sense of civil disorder being tolerated and the police being demonized. And it is wrong. Absolutely.
And nobody deserves it. And by the way, the people that are hurt most,
Trish, this law is going to do absolutely
nothing. Are the people that are really struggling. What's that, sir?
This law is going to do nothing. Let me tell you something. This, first of all, my hat's off to the Republican state legislators who are trying to, to pass this law. But the bottom line here is you got a better chance of getting ice water in hell than getting this law passed in a democratically run state. And let's say for by chance that this law is passed, what's going to happen is you're not going to get any democratically elected district attorney in New York City that's going to actually prosecute these people for a felony. So the only way that this law will actually work is if they have a minimum mandatory where these people have to go to jail at least for 90 days for committing this act. And you know what? That's never really going to happen, except maybe in Republican cities and towns in the state of New York. That's it.
Yeah. There are two New Yorks, Harry, as you know, and Trish, and upstate New York is
I was
actually
there's 2 New Yorks right here in New York City. No, really, because if you can afford to shield yourself from all this,
well, yes,
you can, and that's what's so unfair. Because Bill de Blasio claims he's fighting for the little guy. You know what? The little guy is the one that has to ride the subway and walk in the bad neighborhoods or even the good neighborhoods
right.
where
Go to
you
the
smell all this.
Go to the public schools.
He's fighting for the bad guys. Is who he's fighting for.
Exactly, and he's demonizing the good guys.
And by the way, he's out in Iowa right now campaigning. So
he's
there
the
you go.
perfect example of failing upward.
Nan, Harry, good to see you guys.